Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're diving into one of the most critical pieces of SAP convergent invoicing, the billable item class. We're going to break down, step by step, how you configure this thing, which is basically the foundational blueprint for all of your billing data. All right, let's get right into it.
So, here's what we've got on tap. First up, we'll answer the big question, what even is a BIT class? Then, we'll get into the fun part, actually creating the blueprint. After that, we'll see how to bring it to life, how to move it into a live environment, and we'll wrap up with why getting this blueprint right is so incredibly important.
Okay, so let's start at the very beginning. What are we actually talking about when we say billable item class? And why does everyone say it's the absolute cornerstone of the whole invoicing process?
Well, at its heart, a BIT class is the master template for any kind of charge you can think of. It lays out all the technical rules, what data fields you need, where that data is going to live in the database, and how other systems can talk to it. It's basically the DNA for a billable transaction.
The absolute best way to think about this is like an architect's blueprint for a house. You wouldn't just start building, right? You need a detailed plan that shows every room, every window, every electrical outlet. The BIT class is exactly that, but for your billing data. It defines the entire structure before a single dollar or piece of data ever shows up.
All right, so we know what it is. Now for the practical part. How do we actually roll up our sleeves and build this blueprint inside the SAP system? Let's get into the core configuration steps.
The whole creation process really just boils down to these 6 key steps. You pick some standard parts, you add your own custom fields if you need to, you tell the system where to store the data for both real and practice runs, and then you activate it and generate all the working parts. Think of this as our checklist to get a class up and running.
So here we are, looking at the very first step in the system. And the great news is, you're not starting with a totally blank page. You get to pick from these pre-built data blocks called interface components. You see things here like basic payment data. It's kind of like choosing the standard room layouts for your house blueprint. This forms the solid core of your data structure.
But you might be thinking, what if my business needs something special, something unique? Well, that's what step 2 is all about. You see that Customer Fields button? That's your gateway to adding any specific fields your business needs. Maybe a special promo code or a unique service ID. This is how you really tailor that blueprint to make it your own. Okay, so once you've decided what data you're going to capture, you have to tell the system where to put it. That's steps 3 and 4, and it's handled right here with this DB Table Set button. This is literally you pointing and saying, okay, put the real data in this table over here and any test data in that one. You're giving your data a home.
We've designed our blueprint. Every detail is there. Now comes the really cool part, taking that abstract plan and turning it into a real, living, breathing object that the system can actually use.
And this little flowchart shows that life cycle perfectly. Every new class starts out as, new. When you're happy with it, you activate it. And if you ever need to change it down the road, it goes into a modified or working version state, which you can then activate again when you're done. It's a really controlled, safe way to manage changes.
Now this table breaks down what those statuses really mean, because it's super important. When a class is in processing, you can do whatever you want to it, but it's locked down, you can't move it. To move it, you have to switch the status to transportable. And then once it's live and released as productive, you can still transport changes, but you can only make compatible ones, like adding new fields, so you don't accidentally break anything.
So after you've activated the plan, you get to hit this Generate button. And honestly, this is the magic moment. The system takes your blueprint and physically builds everything. The database tables, the little programs for data transfer, all of it. Your abstract plan becomes a real, tangible thing inside the system.
So our BIT class is built and it's generated, but it's still in the workshop, so to speak. Now we have to take it on its final critical journey, moving it safely from our development space all the way to the live production system.
This image lays out that standard SAP transport path perfectly. You build and tweak your BITS class in a customizing system. Then you transport it over to a test system to make sure everything works just right. And once it gets the green light, you do one final transport into the production system where it starts doing real work.
But listen, there's one last crucial point here that you can't forget. Even when your bit class makes it to the production system, it's not actually on yet. You have to flip one final switch. You have to go in and explicitly activate that class for the specific company or client that's going to use it. Only then can it start doing its job.
Okay, let's just pull back for a second and look at the big picture.
We've walked through a lot of technical steps, but why is getting this one blueprint right so incredibly important for everything else that happens downstream?
This slide really sums up the entire journey we've just talked about, right? It all starts with an idea, which you then define into a detailed blueprint. That blueprint is used to generate the real system components. From there, it gets transported, tested, and finally deployed and activated for real business use. It's the complete life cycle, from a simple concept to a production reality.
And this quote from the source material just hits the nail on the head. The billable item class isn't just some random configuration setting, it is the highest node. It's the absolute foundation that everything else, all your billing, all your invoicing is built on top of. If this blueprint is shaky, the whole house is going to have problems.
So, when you get through all the technical stuff, the defining, the generating, the deploying, you're left with this powerful, custom-built tool that's ready to go. Your blueprint is complete. The only real question left is, what amazing things are you going to build with it?